I know, I'm very confused. I'm the only guy. Police tried to send me a fishing. I called. Did you go in?
I know my phone was hurt, so I said no.
I don't remember. They're supposed to.
So did that bid on it? Right. Yes, it is.
Oh, that's.
Only bid $3,000.
Who's
I figured
that?
I'd probably have to do that. I figured if I did.
Who?
I'll have to check it out.
So yeah, I've heard.
He did? Super
I
exciting.
didn't know he was thinking of it. Wow, really? That's awesome. I was like, she's one of my juniors.
Oh, yeah.
She's a sweet girl. Okay, so we can shut off the computer.
Yes, I got
Turn down the AC.
I got it.
Turn down the AC.
Not 58, do not do that.
50 job.
Freeze that up. 69,
It's at 70 now, so it's
69, 8.
You just lost TV.
What did I do?
John Baker.
Become unglued here.
Oh.
Which one does it go into? How about that one? No? Yes, no? We got two cords here, but I don't know which one it goes to. I know, but I got
Those are the ones with
two.
TV, John.
It's the one that goes next to it, it's a lot like Kansas.
Well, let's try this one.
Because the screen is.
I know, something happened. It's not hooked up. See the cord dropping down from the
Ah,
TV?
yeah.
There we go.
I got three cords over here. Apparently we're gonna need it.
Maybe I bumped this one, because I moved that one right.
No, something happened. When John moved that chair, I saw that cord go.
Good. Back. All right, we'll stand and say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. This is the August council meeting, City of Overbrook. All right. Becky, would you call roll, please?
Paul Berkeley, here, Donna Smith, Lane Clark,
Present.
Matt Craig,
Present.
Kyle Michael, we have a quorum.
Understand, we have four. All right, before we get started on our official business, this is our official business, Cheryl, come forward.
Yeah.
All right. Cheryl, as many of you know, served the community. We have a little plaque for her for 8 years of service on the council. We'd like to present you a plaque. We can go over and take a picture if we need. So,
I'm trying, well, I'm trying to, there we go. There you go, gotcha. Good picture. Cheese.
thank you for your service. Wish the community to thank Cheryl for her service, for being on the council for 8 years.
And here, when Becky texted me, can you come to the meeting? I thought they wanted my opinion about something.
We did.
So I was like, It's just an award? I want to give you my opinion.
Well, you can give your opinion.
All right, well, you guys do a good job.
All right, thank you. All right, that takes us to accommodation. Chief, like to discuss?
So, we have 2 officers tonight that are receiving commendation awards and meritorious conduct medals. They're receiving these because they responded to a suicidal subject in May. They were able to locate the subject, and luckily it had a happy ending. Obviously we won't go into the details of that, but luckily it had a happy ending, and they were able to get him transported to the Burton Nash Center to get the treatment that he needs. So, Jacob? This is your medal. You can display that on your Class A uniform or your vest. And then this is yours to keep, and there's also one in your personnel jacket. Here. And that's yours, and there's one in your jacket as well.
Good, thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much for your service, and good that we helped a young individual out. All right. Anything else on that?
Nope.
All right, thank you. That takes us to approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes, additions, corrections to the agenda as presented? Okay, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Holly. We got a second by Hannah. Any other discussion on that? All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. All right, that takes us to the consent agenda. Anyone have any discussions, concerns? Want to talk about anything in the consent agenda? All right, now I'm take a motion to approve the consent agenda. So desired.
I make the motion to consent agenda.
All right, got a motion by Hannah. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Lane. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, that takes us to special reports. Echo 1, Well 2. We decided to go into select Midwest Engineering for our Well 2 discussion and what we're going to do about that. There's a couple things in that. We're ready to sign an agreement with them as to scope and cost. So everyone had a chance to review. I think what they're asking for at this time is, do we have the?
I do, yes, and he actually brought stuff.
Yeah,
too.
all right.
Yeah.
We have the agreement. I think the preliminary discussion here is they'd like to review the PER. And there's a cost associated with that, and then move into the actual well replacement, and they have some costs associated with that. I don't know how you guys want to do that. I'm going to turn the floor over to Ben to talk about the breakdown as it's put together here.
Awesome, thanks for having me.
All right,
Appreciate it.
everybody know Ben?
Would you like a hard copy to have in your hand? I usually like to have one.
Sure.
I'll take one.
Would you like to take one and pass it?
All right, thank you.
So yes, Ben Coltrane from Midwest Engineering. I'm happy to be here tonight and share with you. I got to see a few of you at the mayor meeting down in Linden a few months back. We got to talk about water across Osage County. And then Danny I got to see, and then I got to chat with at KRWA. That's always a big focus for us, and get a chat about how water is going on in eastern Kansas and how we can help out. So happy to talk to you about tonight. I want to start with this estimate because there's a couple of approaches that you can take on this. As noted, we are discussing well 2, but I also understand pretty recently after that, well 1 went down as well. And so there's a little bit of history there that we would like to find out. So we started with this estimate. We did some extra work for you, even though we weren't under contract. We did a lot of investigation. We talked with Sergeant Drilling that had come out and done the inspection. We talked to a couple of the other well drillers in the area and a few of the people that we know. And so what you have before you is a very preliminary best guess estimate of what a like-kind replacement would take. So this is you saying, we know what we want. We want well 2 replaced just like it is. If you'll permit that and get us to be able to do that, then we can go in and accomplish it. So from the people that we have talked to, this is what we think that it would come out to. And just running through that, because sometimes we approach things just a little bit different than others. We think the total construction cost would be right around $429,000. Now, sometimes you get into a project and they realize, oh, that's just construction cost. And then if you don't have the funds to do that, you will need to take out a loan or get some funding for it. And so there are legal services that can come along with that, some bonding and interest if you take out funding for it. After that, it's our regular engineering stuff, designing, permitting, building, construction administration. And then one thing that we have found, even though we can design the most beautiful well you've ever seen in your life, you can hang it on the wall and it looks wonderful, sometimes it's not constructed the way that it's designed. So if you accept a little bid and they go into it and they may choose yes or not to put things in, and since it's underground, sometimes you don't know. So we like to provide that construction observation so we can check on that stuff and make sure what you paid for, what's designed, and what KDHE approves is actually what goes in the ground. Because the only thing worse than paying for a well once is paying for a well twice, because it doesn't work the way it does. I just came from a small town down in southeast Kansas. 20 years ago, they had sewer lines put in. They should have lasted 75, 80 years. We're replacing them, most of them, because for construction there are sags in those sewer lines and it's not working correctly. So construction observation, even though it is a cost, usually is lower cost than doing the entire project. So that's what we do, and we work with the city depending upon the staff and what they have available to accomplish it. So that's construction observation. And then down below, we just had a placeholder for hourly services in there for, this happened to me, don't tell me, $3,900. That's hourly as things come up, there's a difference between hourly and lump sum. So that comes to a total project cost of $527,000. We do not have some things in there we typically do. Like if you go through an SRF or a USDA program or CDBG, they may require BABA, American Iron and Steel, Davis-Bacon, the wage agreements. Those could be included in here. We chose not to do that at this point. Part of it is the amount that's there and not knowing what your finances are. Again, this is just a very preliminary estimate for you. Okay? So again, this is you telling us we know what we want, we'll go put it in, and we'll keep on going. Sometimes before that, we like to investigate if that is what you need. And normally we like to do a full-blown PER, full financial, full technical, lots of alternatives, analyze your entire system. My understanding is that you guys have had that done fairly recently. You've had a lot of your distribution taken care of, you've had a lot of work in your water system. So we don't know that a full PER is required. But we would like to do a little bit of study. So maybe going back with Danny and looking through the, all the maintenance things, is how often are those wells going down? How much are you spending on it? Is it complete rebuild or are you doing a replacement of it? I had asked Ben to go into the system and look at it, and when one well turns on and then the other well turns on, what happens? Are they fighting against each other? Are they working well together? Just some analysis in there. And so if we can do all of that, combine it with just a little bit of financial study, because normally the clerk lady in the office really likes those finances lying down. She wants to know what that money number is before we commit to anything. So what we did on this, and that kind of comes into your contract, and I did put together a paper copy for you if you like that. It's a little extra paper, but sometimes it's helpful. So all this does, and feel completely thrilled to read it. I think it's in your packet, but we just took each of those pieces and separated them out and told you what that means. So this is what design means, this is what permitting means, this is what bidding means. I'm going to skip that, and I am going to go down to the last part under additional services, and there's a piece that's called report engineering. So instead of doing a full-blown PER, everything in there, typically a 6-month project, we like to do some study, dig into records with Danny, dig into the financial with Becky, line everything out, let you know what we're doing, and then we would make a recommendation saying, yes, we think you need to replace the well like kind, or you may want to consider this because your well production over the last 20 years has actually started to go down. We may find that. I have no idea without studying. So at that point, it kind of takes the risk off of you saying, we want to do that, and it kind of puts the risk on us saying, we think you should do that. And then if it doesn't work, then you can come back to us and say, hey, you screwed that up. You told us the wrong thing to do. So we take on that risk, and that's what a lot of the engineering is about, is accepting that risk. So that's why, yes, it is $15,000, but compared to a $500,000 project, it's a much smaller cost, and then you have a plan. I don't know how you guys like to approach it, but I like to have a plan, a recommendation. Here's a step-by-step process. Here's where we're going to do it, and that report is really just a plan for how you want to go through this process and what you need to do based upon the history that we find out with the team here in the city. So this is our first step. We'd like to start that. We've already done quite a bit of it. We just need to write it down. And then the previous part of that contract is setting up the rest of it. So you have a choice tonight. You can execute the entire contract with us and say, yep, we think that we want to do this. And what we'll do is we will start with the report, and we will do that. And if we get to the end and we find out, no, you don't want to replace your well too, we need to do something different. You need to go deeper, or you need to go to a different location. You need to go 5 miles down the road to a different aquifer basin. At that point, we will stop. We won't do any other work, and we'll say, hey, let's redo that contract. That's how we do the business. You'd have to trust us on that. The other option is just to simply say, hey, we like you taking on the risk for it. We like a plan going into it. We will authorize the report tonight, and let's hold off on the rest until you come back with your recommendation. And at that point, yes, we will continue with replacing well 2, like kind replacement, or we'll have a different recommendation for it. So So that's me talking a whole lot. And for questions. Makes sense? What things come to mind on this that I can help out with?
Do we know why well one went down?
Well,
Maybe
the,
water.
the big problem on well one is that that's one of the original wells, that was drilled in 53 or 56, somewhere around in there, and it has holes in the casing. The casing has failed.
And it's looking to do it though?
Yeah, there's no fixing it.
Was that well one or well two?
Well two.
Well,
Oh,
two.
Well,
I'm talking
two
about
was-
well one.
So well
I'm
one,
asking about well one. You said it went down recently,
Well one's the same age.
but it's repaired.
It is repaired.
So this is all about well two.
This is all about well two.
so there could be a risk if it's the same age that casing will have the same thing happen. And if he continues, if he starts pumping red stuff out of well one, just like he was in well two, then we'll have to do the same thing over there. Good questions.
We replaced the, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, but we replaced the pump. Intake screen was mostly clogged. And with like for like, we hadn't serviced it for quite a while. They did clean the well, and put it back in service and pumping back to what it was, when we serviced it last time, so around 20 to 25 gallons a minute.
20 plus. And that was a full replacement, not a rebuild?
That's correct.
Correct, yeah, they put a new pump in it and acidized the well, so, they said the pump was pretty well shot, just for years of service and, I would think that the pickup screen getting clogged up caused it to work harder, which in return, you know, was, not helpful with the breakdown, but, and the other, issue with well one, as far as making a quick decision on getting that done, we've got local rancher has cattle out there on that pasture, and well one is where they get their source of water at. And so that was, with cattle being out there and the heat that we've been having this summer, it was,
The extra motivation to
yes.
get it done
Yeah.
and not say, hey, we're on it 3 months later.
So this additional engineering, you said you'd already done quite a bit of it, is that what?
Yeah, we've had quite a few chats about it, come up and talk through it, just talking to, Sergeant Drilling, a couple other drilling companies. We've gotten into your system, I have an account now, and we can look at what some of the pumping and things are doing. That's where I backed off a little bit and had Ben run some analysis. I thought I'd test him out a little bit and see how he did. He did a nice job. So we'll take that info and maybe turn it into a graph, a little report.
Is the goal for this like end of year, try to get this in place, or what's the end goal on?
Well, I think I'd like to have a preliminary engineering report fairly soon here, but if we're gonna go into construction, and if that's the decision later on that's made, we're probably talking a year out, I would say, maybe.
All depends on.
Depends on funding.
Is where you go. So if you,
How we're gonna pay for it.
if you ask for money, it takes you a year plus to get that. If you have your own money, you walk down to the bank and they approve it, you can start next month.
So, a couple different options there. We applied for, and denied, 60% loan forgiveness on, that were, from KDHE, that we're using, same thing we were doing for the sewer project. SRF funds. Yeah, so it's- But, that doesn't mean we can't get SRF funds, it just means we're not gonna get those, that particular funding.
And there is an option, it's kind of timing, there is a Kansas Water Office grant that's due September 15th. I think Becky has had conversations about it before. There are two options, you can either ask for a project, which would be the construction part, but you have to have an engineering report to submit, and it doesn't pay for the design or other things. Or you can turn in for the technical assistance, which would cover an engineering report and the design costs, which in here, so if you total this up, it would be around 60,000 for the technical assistance, it's design, permitting, bidding, construction. Well, I can't get into construction so
So if we-
down on 50.
So if we apply for the technical assistance, even if we did the BER, we added 64,229 plus the 15K, would give you all of the engineering costs as opposed to the construction costs at 429,000.
The only part on that is that if I started on the report and I could pay it and then you were awarded it, they will not pay for anything that has already been done.
Correct.
And you won't know until for 6 months until March.
Yeah.
So once if grants are wonderful, and Kansas Water Office is the closest to free money I've ever seen anywhere. It's a wonderful thing, but you start chasing grants and you delay your project. Minimum 6 months to start. That's if you go technical assistance. This is a shorter report, but I'm not sure that I can get it done in a month to have it ready to turn. You do have a nice project saying, we had well number 1, number 2 go down, we have to redo the whole thing. We also had well number 1 go down, the age, there's a nice little case in there for a grant, but start chasing, it takes time, so.
We could always apply next year as well.
You could, and that might be a nice piece where you just start this work, and if you can get by with the remainder of your wells and their production, which you have several in the line there, then we could look towards next year.
So kind of our choices are, we can initial and send them forward with a lump sum. We've had a bit of discussion, Ben and I have on lump sums. But, so, or we can execute the entire contract thinking that, that we would be into construction at some point in time. However you guys want to do that, or do nothing at all, but I recommend that option. So, thoughts?
I'd like to see it started on.
Okay. Just that you wanna initial the lump sum engineering and have them get started on that?
That's my
Okay.
thoughts,
So we know what we need.
so we know what we need.
That's also how I would make
So-
it, then we would come to the different report and we can try.
So we'll wanna make a motion to sign that piece of it?
I move we initial the lump sum, get things rolling.
All right, we got a motion by Kyle to initial the lump sum, to get moving on that, of 15,000. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Matt. Any other discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes. So give me, authorization to initial that and send that to, Ben for final execution. You good?
You betcha.
Okay. Do you need that tonight, or do you want?
That is up to you. If you initial right there.
Anything else? 8.
And I can take that, and that'll get us started.
Yeah.
Do you need anything else? I saw, notice there's a form on the back.
just with the line item size and everything, we will wait on the big signature and do that, grab the rest of the stuff. That work?
That works for me.
Okay.
Let me take a copy of that with the signature
Here
or send
is
it to
a
me.
whole new one, you
just
can
sign that
initial
one
that
there,
one, and that's
Helen?
your copy. So one to take, one to keep,
Correct line.
correct one. Thank you very much, look forward to working with you, and we'll become best buds with Mary
Okay.
and Becky, and
All right,
everything's squared away.
all right, thank you very much. See you, Ben.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Takes us to Echo 2 Library. Kyle and Carla, what do you got for us?
Do you want us to come up there, so we're on
You can talk wherever you want,
TV or-
wherever you're
okay.
comfortable.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm the library director next door. I've been there 10 years this year. Every year around this time, we just like to come in and talk to you all about what we think our needs are for next year. About 2/3 of our funding comes from the city. The rest comes from the Northeast Kansas Library System, our wonderful copy and printing services, the community room rentals, and a few other little things. There is some level of state funding that's about $1,000 per year. But anyway, so do you have the thing that I sent you by any chance?
I have your report. Was there something else I was supposed to stick in there?
Yeah, I didn't resend it. That's okay. I have a paper copy. But I only have one, so you'll have to pass it around. But
Oh, yeah.
on here I've got our 2026 budget authority is $127,380. We would like an increase of 1.82% to $129,700 for next year. As far as the library is concerned, everything is going great, and we're doing well. We're happy with the support from the city. Everything just gets more expensive every year, you know. So, but I don't know. Whenever we're making this and the board is approving this, we never have any idea of what the property valuations are gonna be at the time. So from our perspective, we're not anticipating that we'll need to be increasing our mill number or anything like that.
I didn't have that. I just had the two June report and May report.
Oh, okay.
I never sent you July's report.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's my fault. But I also wanted to give a big thanks to maintenance for helping us get the wall down in
The wall
the
is down.
community room. The wall is down.
Wow.
We're moving forward on a bunch of community room projects. Painting was originally supposed to start this week. It got pushed back to next week. But we're getting the community room repainted, and then we've got some bids to get the flooring replaced in there. 'Cause it hasn't worn great. Yes, we got the new entryway lights, thanks to Becky. And these have normal bulbs that a human can replace without changing the whole fixtures.
Awesome. All right, technology.
But yeah, if anyone has any library questions, feel free to.
I just wanted to add that Kyle's worked really hard and rolled out a new website too. The library has a new.
Yes, yes,
Website.
we do have a new website. I don't know if it's changed on the city page yet or not. I sent a message, but then I was supposed to talk to
We'll
Ben
check
and I
on it.
forgot to talk to Ben.
Yeah, I will.
So. But yeah, we've got a new catalog that updates with all our most recently added books automatically, so you can see what we're adding to the shelves, and has a link to all the current policies that's updated as we update them, and it's a lot easier to maintain than our old one was WordPress and required kind of me manually going in and changing things every time we had an update. And the new one, a lot more of it comes from the back end of the system, which I'm happy about.
right.
There's not really any motion or anything involved in this generally, so.
So, currently, we'll be talking about it a little later, but, you're asking for basically the same amount of mills. And I think right now, the way it's setting, we have you at just a small increase
Okay.
in mills, so I think that should be fine
Yeah, that,
on the budget authority of 129,700.
yeah, that would be great.
We'll validate that.
Awesome. But yeah, if anyone else has any library questions, or if you want to read really quickly, you have until the end of August to complete the adult summer reading program we've got going on. So if you think you can get 6 books done in the next 3 weeks, you can get a
Alright.
sweet Overbrook coffee mug.
Or 10 books and you get a bag, right?
That's true.
10 books
to
and you get a bag, all
Mhm.
right. Or if you read 15, do you get a bag and a coffee cup?
Well, hold on, no. You get the bag and the coffee cup for only 10.
Only 10, okay.
We've actually, this is the first year we've done adult summer reading anything since I've been here, and we've had more participation than I thought we would. So we are gonna do another reading challenge, that's gonna be probably the October, November, December time frame, where you'll have to read, read something from a genre you don't normally read. Read a book with a red cover. Read a book by an author that starts with A. It's going to be a little more directed than the summer just to get participation. It was just read books, please, and come in and tell us about them. So,
Awesome. All right, anything else you would like us to know?
nope, like I said, do you know anything about the broken air conditioner? That's the only facilities thing I am aware of.
Working on
is-
replacing it.
Yes, we got the insurance claim and
Okay.
we, Tim has ordered the air conditioner.
Perfect.
So,
So,
we're
but yeah, everything from my perspective, everything is going great, and we've been very busy this summer, and it'd be nice to get the kids back into school. And,
All right, learning all around. Okay, anything else? So just remind us on the budget authority, we have that, so. The proposed right now is, as you indicated, was 127,380, and you'd like to go to 129,700, so. If we can make that happen, we'll let you know.
all right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thanks for all your help and all your programs.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Any questions, concerns on that? If not, we're moving on to Echo 3. Sewer project daily reports and sewer pay app. If you haven't been to the sewer ponds, you should go look.
Bigger than I thought.
They're moving dirt.
A lot taller than I thought it was gonna be.
You got 11-foot berms. Anyway. Yeah, it's, so they moved a lot of dirt. Things are going pretty well. Haven't had any major hiccups.
Their daily reports are really cool, and I put the 2 I've gotten in the council report, because he does a full, journal, it's all computerized, it's pretty awesome, and then takes pictures of the work that they've been doing, which has the dates on them. And then the data, so the reports they do a nice job with the reports. So the diary explains what they did on that day. Completed, so both of those are in there, so the past 2 weeks are in there, so they've been emailing them on Mondays. So I get them on Mondays, and then
We got a safety report in there, which is really nice. I think
Yep.
you did a good job on that. Haven't had any real major hiccups. We've got, not really sure along the row crop there, we might have some, damages we'll have to, pay in that. Nothing major, very minor.
this is last week's.
So,
like, there's a note on there, we go, 4-wheel tractors broke down. I thought that was really funny.
I saw another one that said flat tire or something.
Yeah. Tire was fixed in the morning.
So there's last week's photos. So, and Danny said it looks different today than what it did at these photos.
We asked about moving dirt, they're moving dirt. Any questions, concerns on that? They do have a pay app. I don't know, I can bring it up for, for $178,182.52 and 10%, so.
Oops. 145.
So total amount due for that is gonna be the 145, as Becky's pointing out there, 37. Ethan signed off on that. You guys have any questions or concerns? So if you're comfortable with it, I'll need a motion to approve the pay app. Just a reminder, we'll get the money from KDHE for the pay app, and then we will reimburse them for the amount here.
And can I add, their governmental assistance is amazing. Maria, who is our contact person, already has everything ready to go to get this sent in. She's already put it all together, it's all itemized, it's all listed out. All we gotta do is wait for Dawn to sign it, and then I'll send it to her, and then I'll send it up to the state, and the state will turn around and send us money, and then we'll turn around and pay it. Pretty awesome.
Make a motion to approve the payout.
All right, got a motion by Matt to approve the pay app, and this is pay app 2.
So I'll second.
Got a second by Polly. Any other discussion on it? All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes, so I will sign that. And where all do I need to sign this? Do you want me to do this now or later?
I think you just have to sign the pay app, and then I have to sign that.
Certified
Because they've been
official?
having the clerks do that. She said the clerks are the new ones to sign that disbursement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to sign in
You
front?
gotta sign everything.
Okay. There you go. All right, any other concerns or questions, on the work from you guys back there? Danny or, you guys, they do, everything fine?
Quick little update, as of today, they've pulled their equipment off to go to another site. They're kinda at a standstill with their dirt work. The next thing that will take place when they come back is they'll start, putting in the piping and working on the, precast structures and stuff, so that'd be the incoming weir box, and, influence side. And, met with the fence subcontractor today. Worked with the contractor a little bit, they had a few, concerns. That'll all get worked out, so everything seems to be running really smooth.
Okay.
I think their, fencing is, middle of September, and then, seeding will be right around that same time shortly after, so,
Is this their first game open?
Yes, as far as I know.
We should probably track that in their dailies just because it's
Okay.
easier to track it as it happens.
And they send their dailies from the week before on Monday, get it on Monday.
I agree.
So if it's not in there, we probably ought to have them make a note of it. Okay.
And keep a running tally of days they demoed. Not important now, but at the end of the job, when everybody's
Right, if it runs late or problems or whatever.
not in your tracking,
And I think as far as what I've gathered, the electrical power issue with the lift station out there is all working out and won't be near as costly as we thought it was gonna be.
Right.
I would let them know that we do have 3 utility poles that could, either one of those could be used, so that will cut that cost by a pinch anyway.
We just expect, we're probably gonna roll it into the project too, expect a change order for the setting the pole and getting power there from Evergy. I don't know exactly what that cost is gonna be right at the moment, but there will be some cost associated with that.
Kirk indicated to me today, he's the main guy with Dirks there, that, they believe they have the ability to set the pole for
Okay.
us, so.
All right,
It's
good
just a
deal.
matter of Evergy doing the hookup and everything, so.
All right. Anything else on the sewer project? Any other concerns anyone has? If not, we're gonna move on to F1, Foxtrot 1, public comments. Do we have any public comments? Okay. I think that is a no. We don't have any public comments, so that'll take us to item golf. G1, maintenance action items, have anything?
No real action items to discuss tonight. I was not present for the last council meeting, but I know you guys talked a little bit about a UTV. Got some prices here just off internet, for several different, ones. We're looking at just your basic model, only adding a snow plow to one if we were to purchase one. They're brand new ones, we're looking at around $20,000, $20,000 plus. Y'all are aware there's a lot fancier ones out there. You can get into the high 50s and $60,000 range, but we're looking more of a work, work tool than anything like that. We've kind of looked at some used ones. A 2016, 2017 model, you're looking at $8,000-9,000 with no kind of warranty. Is pretty much our UTV that we have now is a 2016, and we're starting to see some mechanical issues with it, and I just I don't want to see us get into throwing a bunch of repair money at any piece of equipment and end up upside down in the value of it, but and like I said, that's I think by next council meeting or so, we should be able to have some better hard numbers for you guys, but I just wanted to kind of let everybody know where we're going there, and then I think everything in my monthly report here is pretty much everything that we've already kind of talked about. One thing that I did want to point out, on the streets, of course, we're getting ready for the parade and everything, getting everything cleaned up and all the barricades and stuff set out like we usually do. And then at some point after the parade, our mayor has signed up to repaint the crosswalks across Maple Street after they had got paved over, so I'm getting his supplies together for him, and we'll be there to give him a hand, and, not maybe we should get a hold of the newspaper and have them come. It'd be a prime photo op, so.
I don't know if we need all that. We'll get them painted, hopefully before school starts. Anything else, Danny? Still working on 56 and Maple. The guy's done a lot of work, up there. We're still struggling finding what the issue is, and we'll continue to work on that. I think that's, did receive some training, had some good training last month, I believe, from, for VFDs and PLCs and things that control the wells. So, there's more to come on that. All right, that takes us to G2, OPR action items. Have anything? Okay.
I mean,
And-
except the AC and the gym's done, I guess.
Oh, the AC in the gym is done, so we have, we received some training, some quick training on the units out there. So we know how to use all three of them.
And the thermostats are set, so we can just figure out how much it's gonna cost
So
to
we're
run it.
running a little experiment to see for cost and then, how we want to move forward in cost and whatever the rules are gonna be associated with heating and air in the gym. We don't want, folks just randomly changing things, so we may need to change some thermostats out and make that a little more difficult, but we'll see how that works out. So take some time to go over and, if you have a code, Madison will get you a code if you don't, and get you in there so you can see the system. Looks really nice, did a good job. So starting to have some opportunities there, for growth in our activities. All right, pool action items. Everyone knows we had a fundraiser last week, for a pool and a few other things, sidewalks and the fairgrounds. So raising some dollars for that, for the grant, from the Patterson and from Overbrook, Community Foundation. So that's going well. We'll continue to work on that. Anything else on pool? Pool is finishing up the season, trying to keep it open as long as possible. Then we'll look at what we need to do for pool overall. Knock on wood, pool's functioned fairly well through the year. So, but it's not over with yet, so don't jinx us. Don't talk about it. Not 100%, but I have some suspicions. I would say a human performance question.
Madison put a very nice report in her pool report, in the council packet on a pool operator.
I'm guessing. All right. That takes us to, go forward, public safety action items. We got a draft e-scooter ordinance. This has been on, as Becky has indicated, the listserv for a while, and multiple towns are dealing with what are we gonna do in e-scooter space. We've had multiple complaints at City Hall, and I'm sure the department has taken multiple complaints and about e-scooters around and safety concerns, mostly for children. There has been a few adult questions out there, but mostly, as we all were children once, we might remember some of the things we did, or not. So,
Didn't have any scooters back then.
So, I don't know, the chief put a general ordinance together for e-scooters and what have you, so I don't expect us to take any action tonight, but be sure you take a look at that, and if you have any changes or additions or corrections, or if you want to scrap it all together or move forward, let us know on our next council meeting if that's okay with everyone.
basically,
Anything else, chief?
the two main things here, so the first part talks about, the electric assistant, blah, 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 will not be required to maintain vehicle liability insurance, a driver's license, registration, certificate of title, or license plate, because the state of Kansas does not recognize them as motor vehicles. But then the second part, the traffic regulations of the standard traffic ordinance applicable to bicycles shall apply to electric assisted scooters. So essentially what this ordinance does is it adapts the standard traffic ordinance so that we can apply it to the e-scooters, because right now when we stop them, we really just say, hey son, please stop at the stop sign. But there's really nothing we can do, if, you know, and it requires helmets if they're under 18 years of age.
How fast can this go?
Pretty fast.
So they can just
Well, it's scary to
exceed the speed limit on Main
And they're on the
Street.
sidewalks. Like, I took a call where somebody with their walker almost got hit by a kid. And
Is
she-
there anything on
she's
here
the
that
sidewalks.
says about sidewalks?
Yeah.
Bicycles on the sidewalks.
It should be unlawful for any person to operate an electric assisted scooter at a speed in excess of 15 miles an hour or on any street with a posted speed limit of 35 miles an hour. So it limits the speed. But there's nothing in there about crosswalks or sidewalks.
Well, down Main Street, I know we have bicycles and stuff. We're not allowed
Yeah, we can have that.
Cycles.
I think if we're writing that ordinance, because we're getting complaints, the ordinance should probably address the complaint, maybe?
I agree with you, is it safer to put them on the street? I think also.
That's my concern.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which, yeah, are you
No,
creating?
they're not gonna run over an individual person on a street. Well, I mean, I guess they potentially could.
Individual person can get run over on the road, no?
Yeah, it's when people walking the roads and stuff, so. I don't know, I've seen a few of them come and have some close calls with walkers.
That's what it was, is she was walking with her walker and the kid came around the corner and she was on the sidewalk. And the kid came around the back of the sidewalk on the
And we've seen a few close calls out here with people just zipping, not stopping at stop signs and people in crosswalks or cars or whatever.
Some kids on my street all the time.
I would guess every single one of us probably did that on our bicycles or when we were youth, but it doesn't make it right.
Now, another part that I didn't put in here that the league possibly offers part of an ordinance is allowable times. Like they can be operated from, 8 to noon or whatever time the city would set that at, so that's an option as well.
Keeps it out of the dawn and dusk.
Yeah,
Dark time where it's harder to see.
yeah,
30 minutes after sunrise, 30 minutes before sunset.
yeah, it's tree ledge, you can't go here.
All right, anything else on that?
Nope, paper cuts.
You guys want paper copies? We'll make some changes, corrections. We'll discuss it next council meeting. I'm above 50, definitely. I need multiple ones. All right. Okay. That takes us to, anything else, chief?
Nope, that's all.
All right, thank you. All right, that takes us to G5, financial report, G5 Alpha. What do you got for us, Becky?
Oh, it's right there. Oops, and I forgot to change the date right there. Sorry about that.
While you're discussing, do we need a break? I'm going to.
So I have, so this is mine. And then I also have Brian, the accountant's, his quarterly report, I can pull up, but it's pretty awesome because it almost matches mine, exact. So I'm pretty excited, so if you wanna see that, I can pull that up too, but that's just June, so it'll be his quarter. So, but this is July's. What? Yeah. How do I get that and put it? Make that go.
You drag it down.
Go away. So I did highlight, as you guys said, if it was over 50, make it yellow. And the library is always. We keep them there. Can I what? Ooh. Did I miss something?
No, just see what was highlighted in June, what was highlighted.
Yeah. Library's the same, because we haven't gotten any money into them, so. So, this is one right here I'm a little concerned about. And then the other one that I'm concerned about, which doesn't have a budget authority, is this one right here. Do we think Madison will like that one? All season over that one. Well, the pool has its own. So, and the pool automatically gets a monthly transfer anyways. So it still has, this is August, so it still has August to December transfers, just to go in there.
So it goes there, so every month they can.
Yep, but they've scheduled the total amount that the council voted on in the budget, I divided it up by 12, so then that little amount is transferred every single month.
And see how we end up at the end of the year. We usually transfer some additional dollars in the pool, but we'll see how we come out this year. Not much. But, so we'll see, as Becky mentioned, our projects, we'll take a look at, Parks and Rec, and see how the programs come out. I consider, I guess, then everybody looks at it differently, but one thought for me is pool programs, baseball, softball, soccer, whatever we're doing in those spaces. Obviously, we would like for them to pay for themselves, but they are services that the city provides. So our goal is not profit, but we would certainly like them to pay for it themselves. So we can look at fees and how we can manage that. And we'll be taking a closer look to answer your question a little more succinctly. Polly, is once everything comes in, we'll take a look at where we're at and, you know, is that did we make money? Did we lose money? You know, if so, what are expenses? Can we, you know, tighten up in one area to make that a little more, less lopsided, or how does that look? So,
And Madison and I have had some really good discussions on the summer camp program, because it's running negative. And the pool, from what I just generally took, it kind of looked like, the swimming lessons, the pool fees, that income, I trying to think of what else happens to the pool. That income pretty much covered the wages for the pool,
Which is,
I
Good.
thought was pretty good. I mean, it didn't cover all the repairs of the pool, but it covered the wages of the lifeguards. So private lessons, water aerobics.
obviously, will depend upon, maybe some dollars associated with the grant and those kinds of things as we move forward. So there will be more expenses in the pool for maintenance, before the end of the year. And, of course, how we want to look at that bridge too. All right, any other questions or concerns?
I did go over and get the interest rate for moving some money out of savings into a CD. Cause that's what we got sitting in savings and that's too much. So you just would have to tell me how much, they just said I would just need to come over with,
Motion.
say how much with a motion from the council saying how much and then and the interest rate was 3.5. I think it was, it's clipped in here, it's just a little teeny tiny piece of paper. So, 6-month CD is the highest, is at, the new rate is 3.6 for a 6-month CD. And I did learn in all of my, which you probably said this and you guys might know, but I wasn't really aware, in the league training on doing budgets, that it is strongly recommended that you have at least 60 days of expenses set aside in a savings account to cover your city if something were to happen and you weren't getting any income from the county. So that was in the budget advice, which we pretty much do. So, but I didn't do that.
Want to give Becky some authority to move money over to CD. You want any input from Sean from the budgeting side on the amount? That would be good, or how do you guys want to do that?
We have one CD that has 60,000, one that's 13.
Move some additional dollars.
Those CDs are what we currently have, or what was it?
Those are what we have.
That is
Right
what we
now.
currently have.
They have 6 months or 12 months.
I think one's a 12-month, because they automatically renew unless we go over and tell them to renew, which I didn't know that either. But I can't remember what they are exactly. I can go find that.
No, it's,
I can find it for next time.
it's just for emergency purposes, for 6 months, makes no sense.
Right.
Since it's so high, what is that?
All right, you want to give Becky authority based on input from Sean, or you want to set a specific amount?
I would say authority is
So,
authority to talk to Sean.
talk to Sean.
And then.
Okay, is that a
Turn
motion?
to Sean or Brian? Brian and John.
Either one.
I make that motion.
Okay, Anna's making the motion, give Becky authority to move money to CDs based on our financial consultants, Sean and or Brian. Is that correct?
For 6 months.
6 months. And
6 months.
you want me to come back next month with the amount that he says, or do you want me to just do whatever he says?
I can do what he said, and just report back what he said.
Okay.
All right. I was giving Becky that authority, to do that, before next council meeting. Do we have a second for that?
I'll say it.
And a second by Lane. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes. 5-0.
This is the thing that bottom says paid off in the weekends.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're paid the media.
So we have no, in our lease stuff, we don't have anything on lease anymore. Everything is paid off. The only thing, loans we have are our water and sewer loans. So we have no equipment on lease payments anymore or anything.
in our equipment plan, many years ago, we had set up a transfer into the equipment reserve fund of $29,698, I think. And we have previously discussed that, we would allow enough loans or expenditures to spend it down to $3,000. So each year, that was just a way to make sure we had some dollars for equipment, whatever equipment we wanted to purchase. So as we're discussing now, if we purchase something that's typically either by lease or outright purchase, it will come out of the equipment reserve. Now, council certainly can change that philosophy, but that's typically been the philosophy or what we are currently doing.
There. So that's the equipment reserve fund. Let's see it, it's kinda. Okay. So this is 2026 line right here, so this is how much we've paid off the Mini-X and we bought the sewer cam. And then this is how much money we will, by the end of the year, we'll have transferred in, right? No, that's the reserve, that's the balance. This is how much will be transferred in by the end of the year. So at the end of this year, we should have this much money sitting there. If we don't buy anything.
If we don't buy anything. So that was the philosophy on that. If we were gonna enter into kind of rolling lease agreements for purchase of equipment, large pieces of equipment, trucks, backhoes, mini X's, skid steers, whatever, how do we replace, the previous philosophy was a run to failure type philosophy, where we would, at some point in time, instead of replacing equipment, when it still had some use to it, we would run it to failure and then have a large expense. Hey, we got a, the backhoe needs replaced, that's what started that, or the skid steer needs replaced, and that's a $60,000-$70,000 bill. Do we want to trade them in when they still have some value to them on newer equipment as we go? So that was the line of thinking. Whatever you guys want to do on that. So, Mini X and the skid steer are still in pretty good shape, but it may be time to start thinking about, do we want to trade them in and, for newer equipment.
And Danny and I have already talked about working up a proposal with finances on some of the things that he's interested in purchasing, like a grapple hook and the new UTVs. So we're gonna work on that, hopefully before the next council meeting, so we have some definite details and images and what he's looking to.
If you guys have thoughts on how you think we ought to approach that, it would be good to get into the spreadsheet. And we've experimented in putting different things in there, how much the lease purchases are, what that looks like over a period of time, that kind of thing. Kind of play around with the spreadsheet to see what we can afford. All right,
Is there anything else that we did not, that we usually go over?
trash.
I forgot, I did the transfers, but I forgot to actually put them in the spreadsheet, so I'm sorry, I forgot. Trash report for this month. So, we're a little short. Then that's the extra dumpsters for the summer and what payments we haven't received. But then recycling is, we're ahead in recycling, so it's just kind of a,
Don't have it anymore.
no, our recycling.
Oh.
The county recycling is what's normal.
Yeah, the counter recycling, but our recycling, Joe still picks up our recycling. So ours is
Did they get rid of all the trailers and stuff? I
Yes,
know
the
they-
whole county,
Yeah, I thought they did, but
just keep on.
they talked about getting rid of them, and I think they must have finally did. Okay,
All those trailers have been in bad shape, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
know people had trouble getting folks to haul them in too, so. Which I get. All right. Any other questions on financial report?
Least, I don't know, a few months on stuff, but nothing different there. Like all of our water loans, sewer loans, but we haven't, nothing's changed except for we paid another interest on the sewer project. That's all we paid. The payments come up in October. Going in October. This one's. Okay, that was this year.
The big sewer one or water one will come due in October,
Yeah, that one, October.
35. And the 5. So that'll be a chunk of change.
Yep.
Okay. Got a motion to approve the financial report?
That's the move.
Kyle moves that we approve the financial report as presented. As presented. Do we have a second? I'll get it there.
I only said it 3 times, so that's okay.
I'm struggling with my words. All right, we got a motion by Kyle, a second by Hannah. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, takes us to administrative action items. We have an executive session for non-elected personnel.
Just a spelling error, sorry about that.
All right.
I did, yeah, sorry.
20 minutes and just the city clerk?
Yep.
Okay. I move that the governing body recess into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. 1, the open meeting will resume in 20 minutes at the Oklahoma City Hall at 7:35. Those present will be
Ending. It's court. Who else? He's the one who could contact them.
Cool.
What? I don't know.
All right, we're out of executive session. No actions, no decisions, but Bailey's not back with us, so we'll wait on Bailey.
they keep their head around and then they walk back off.
You like to talk?
I've heard. I couldn't tell. If they're standing beside each other, I couldn't tell which one was which.
Corey and Chase.
Uh,
A little bit more stocky.
He lives out.
He was at his old grandpa's place.
Grandpa's place, yeah.
Corey lives,
By the Methodist church.
basically right back up to the
Yeah.
church.
I knew where he lived. Like I said, I just know those boys.
All right, we were out of executive session at 7:35. No actions, no decisions were taken. All right. That takes us to, discussion on, our maintenance department.
I'd like to make a motion that we hire our current part-time maintenance person, full-time, and have him be at the same wage as the other starting
Okay,
maintenance folks.
all right.
Sorry, Billy, that wasn't very good.
We got a motion to hire current part-time worker in maintenance to full-time October 1st. The wages, increase of wage start immediately. Is that correct? Okay,
Second?
got a second by Lane. Any other discussion on moving a part-time person to full-time? Not? All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. Okay, that takes us to our update on sidewalk grant application with CDBG and the Community Foundation hearing, date scheduled. Go.
Oh, not Community Foundation hearing, sidewalk grant with the Community Foundation and the hearing for the CDBG sidewalk grant.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry, I just put the comments in when I was.
So this is the contract with Governmental Services to prepare all the CDBG grant application that we have to approve for John to sign, so he can move forward and submit our application. So right, that's where we're at.
Yep.
Okay.
So, do we wanna have a prepare, obviously, we don't, not awarded the grant, we're not gonna have grant administration, so, I think that says that in there, contingent upon grant. We're asking, for the project cost in there, so,
This is just the contract.
Just
their
the contract.
services,
for the services,
Not just for their services, that's not the great stuff, that's fine. I have that here.
this is 20% match, 80% grant from CDBG to put sidewalks in, and we're proposing to do that. We've talked about it a couple times along 4th Street here or Santa Fe Trail, east to west. All right, we have a motion for me to sign this. Or do you guys have additional questions?
I'll make that motion.
All right, got a motion by Hannah, me to sign the agreement. Do we have a second?
I just have an additional question. So this is also Community Foundation money from Patterson is going towards this sidewalk, or is this a different sidewalk?
Correct.
This is Community Foundation of Patterson Grant also?
Yes.
I'll second.
All right. We got a motion by Hannah, a second by Polly. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0, so we'll,
Okay, and so the next thing I need to know is when would the council needs to have a hearing to move forward with the CDBG grant. So these are the two dates that he has proposed, that we do a hearing, 9/16 or 9/23. So it's just a public hearing where people can talk about sidewalks or.
grant,
So,
and we'll record all the public hearings.
so 9/9, or 9/9
Comments.
Wednesday council meeting, and then it'll be the next Wednesday for the next Wednesday.
We didn't put it on the council meeting because we're already having the budget public hearing. And revenue neutral rate hearing on that one, so we thought 3 public hearings was quite a bit.
Not that I have to be here, I can do the 16th.
So we want to try the 23rd? Sounds like the 23rd.
Okay.
And I don't know that we have to be here, but we'll try to schedule it for the 23rd is what a consensus of council
Those usually happen in the
typically.
And then you.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No, that's their time frame that he sent.
Okay.
forward.
All right. Sounds good.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have a time how we're doing that? Like 6, 7 o'clock?
We haven't set the time yet, but most likely it'll be in the,
Okay.
that'll be in the, they'll publish that. I'm guessing it'll be at 6 o'clock. But we'll finalize that with Brett. Okay. We did vote on that. Did we vote on that?
Yes.
I thought we did, but I want to make sure. Okay, that takes us to Surrey Lane Stormwater H1 report and project. So last meeting, I had an opportunity to get the engineer's report. So if you guys have read through all this. Do we have any changes or corrections? The thing that I had for Keithan was, and was what we're exactly doing on the south end. That was my feedback, they were working on that. The main question, I think for this, is do we like, option A or option B? You might remember, really, the only difference, between option A and B is, the option A, stops the drainage short of the ag ditch and then removes a bunch of trees and berm and more dirt work in that boxed area. Option B extends that drainage clear out into the ag ditch and is less concerned about, the trees and what have you. So that's kind of the two options.
How do the residents feel about the tree?
I would think that would, I don't know if we specifically asked them, but I would assume that they would have more concern about that than, cause it would impact them, cause some of those are fairly large trees along that.
They're right on top of that berm you're talking about.
Yes.
They'd have to go.
Yeah, they would have to go.
There was only one neighbor from that area that even got this to look at, and I haven't heard, they haven't responded or made any
Is it
comments.
on that side, the west
No.
side?
I did have one comment from across the street, mainly associated with the sidewalk, if we get the sidewalk grant, that, at the starting point there, storm drain inlet right in there, that could get a little tight in there, we'll have to figure that piece out. And be cognizant of the sidewalk if we're gonna put a big drainage box there.
Having lived down there, I think that removing that berm and those trees is gonna fix your problem faster than anything else. I'm just wondering if they're gonna think
I just wonder,
it's worth it.
well, I wonder if, we go in between those trees and cut some of that berm out, which would be a less expense.
Yeah, but I mean, that berm is pretty tall.
It is,
the
and then it
trees
goes
are only
to-
like 8 foot apart. And you're gonna have, I don't know.
it might be a little more costly. We don't have any design plans, and I'm not 100% sure how we're paying for this either, so.
I could just see us deciding on it, thinking that's the way to go, and going in there, and those trees aren't on those property owners' land, that Mike owns them.
Yes, that's correct.
But then when they see what actually is happening, being even more upset.
Yeah, these,
These right here.
that set of trees right there.
And who's the area?
They're on,
The farmers.
They're on that farm.
yeah.
But
The only, I think Keithan's concern on that was, although it's designed for it in a large rain event, you wanna make sure that berm would, to some extent, help keep the water out into that
keep it west.
to some extent. There'd be more reshaping of that whole ditch if you do that. That was where the dirt work came in, so might need some more engineering to make sure we know exactly what that's gonna look like in that ditch. If we come on out, might eliminate, we could probably do most of this with minimal engineering this, I told them we would need some basic design plans and enough to bid it to get that curb in there and that drop-in box, and we already know the size of tubing, so I think they said 18-inch in the narrative. Along with this, which is not included in this drawing, is, I think there's six, maybe not six, 4 houses. And the addresses are listed in here that need tube replacements in their driveways. So, which obviously we can do that, but, I don't know, I don't remember if it said the size in there. It's in the narrative.
That's the Zoom button.
South Industry, west towards Ag Field, replaced with a 24-inch, and then addition, those 302, 210, and 206, replace those. We would need some further discussion with the engineering firm to see what options they recommend. Okay, I kind of felt like they were pushing us towards the option to get it out into the ag field.
Yeah.
Would be the quickest and easiest, and then replace these culvert tubes. Because we could probably do that mostly ourselves with minimal drawings, but
When you say you feel they're pushing you that way,
I felt they were pushing me, but I can validate that for next council meeting, obviously. I know we're not gonna get anything done.
it's gonna be the fastest, easiest way to do it.
Yeah. We're gonna,
We've gone the fastest.
Go ahead.
easiest.
No, I just feel like we need to start moving forward with this, cause this has been hanging around for
Yeah.
3 years.
The only thing that concerns me is that why they're pushing it, because it's the fastest, easiest way to get it moving. But is that the right fix? We've paid them for the right fix, we don't need the quick fix. Which way is right?
I think they felt either one would work, but they were concerned about doing that dirt work, much like we're concerned about doing that dirt work. It's gonna be more costly,
More invasive to the neighborhood.
more invasive to the neighborhood, and they didn't know how strong the neighborhoods would feel about it, one way or the other. So there,
The one guy, owns most of them, he was in here talking 2 months ago,
yeah,
so he's obviously got opinions.
and they just didn't see that it was that much benefit to do that,
Okay.
but, yeah.
If that's the case, maybe, I would say validate that, and if that truly is, they believe that's the way to go, get going.
Alright, so
Would be my,
we're leaning towards option 1, so I guess consensus of the council is to, go with option 1 out into the field unless we have a strong compelling reason, and then I'll come back to the council and go with the, tree removal option. Okay. I wanted some more input on the south side, other than turning the 24-inch culvert west. What we're gonna do going straight south.
right,
There is a bit of concern there along the railroad right-of-way, where the water's gonna go once it gets to the right-of-way. Mike would like that probably better, cause it pushes it on out past the field to some extent. So. Okay. All right. Any other action on that? So we'll get started on that, and then I may need to come back for some dollars on design, but I'll talk to Ralph if he thinks, and maybe Daniel, at least, based on this design, do they think they have enough information to give us a bid on it, or what else do they need? And Mike,
would Keithan give us rudimentary drawings for Daniel?
Well, that's what I was asking him for, is can you give us
We
some
need
basic
We
drawings?
need elevations, we need,
That's all we really need is elevations.
well, and grid lines to some extent, we need a starting point, a stopping point, elevations.
I don't know if those, are those elevations on there? They may be on that drawing.
I didn't see it, it could have been.
Yeah, those are we have, right now, we have topographical elevations on the topo lines, 1189.
We need top of slab elevations.
Yes. We need to know what that slope is. We got, we know where,
We need top slab elevations, we need, saw joint layout. We need slope, we need a real set of drawings.
well, we're ending at,
We do this to concrete guys in this town all the time, and I'm saying we as in the entire community, I've seen it happen on private residences too. Here's what we want, and walk away and expect them to interpret it, and then they get done, that's not what we meant.
it take me a little bit of time, but I think I can get most of the top slab elevations based on the
Yeah.
topo elevations. We just have to do the math on all of them. Riprap apron looks like it's at 1184. And the pipe is at 1188, yeah, okay. Yep, I'll see what
You got
the,
a place you could set a transit up,
yeah,
you got a ground zero and all that good stuff.
right, yep, okay. All right. Okay, we'll move forward with that. If there's more dollars involved, we'll come back and get that going. We will look at talking to do we see any reason not to do the driveway culverts? With, at least the three that they mentioned at, was it 210 through?
206, 210, and 3.
Are those little driveways that are like cement, or they just
Don't know.
take up dirt and move it?
I think they're all gravel.
I think they're all gravel, but we can validate that. So we might as well go to those three, at least those three, and look at what it's gonna take to replace those culverts. We'll start talking to them about replacing them. Okay,
Nobody fits in with concrete on that side of the road, and she's got it the last 12.
I think so, that's on her address, so.
No, none of those.
yeah, I don't know exactly what I do. Okay, so we'll send letters and get these three, at least talking to them and saying this is what our proposal is.
I can't remember.
Okay, all right, so we'll get started on that. It'll give us plenty of work to do. Between now and,
Do you want to find his address real quick, or? No, okay.
okay,
I'll just drive around the corner.
Okay, just to clarify, you're getting elevations, slope, all those accurate numbers to get a correct bid from the engineering firm. We're not starting anything yet. Or are we?
and then we're gonna start replacing, contacting the property owners at these three addresses.
Okay.
That's listed in the narrative.
302, 210, and 206.
And then the corner of Surrey
Second.
in second. I wanted to see with Keith whether he wanted to put one straight south, since we have an easement down there. I don't know. Well, there's no ditch across that strip. He dug some ditches out, but
The ditch is going west.
they're talking about the west ditch, but we have an easement to go straight south to.
There's a few of them.
I don't know what he did, whatever he did, deviated through the line.
Oh,
Street.
yeah.
On Leviato
Yeah,
Road.
there's some
Probably.
concrete on.
Going west.
He dug
On the west
by
side
the
there,
concrete driveways on the east side.
Okay, I didn't.
I don't know if he's cleaned up the dirt or not, but they said they were fine with it for the moment. They may be using it. So I don't know. Okay. Okay, now it takes us to H2, the budget review. Becky's got lots of documents for us. So, last meeting, we voted and sent to the county our revenue neutral rate, that we're gonna exceed it at 74.643 mils. Becky's presented you the 26 and the 27 budget. Sean Gordon prepared our current, the 27 budget at the revenue neutral rate, which is currently 71.732 mils. Last year, we were above the revenue neutral rate at the 74. If we just take the revenue neutral rate, basically cut general mills, police department mills, and parks and rec mills. Streets remain the same, our street maintenance remain basically the same. Library is a little higher. I don't know if it would get them to where they want. If we do what we did last year and stay at the same rate, which would be the 74.643 mils, we could do that. I'm concerned, my personal concerns are we're taking a mill from Parks and Rec, and that's gonna be a challenge. And the general is also gonna be a challenge to stay within that budget without cutting some services somewhere, and the same in the police department. If we do go with the 74, everybody does get some increase, because the evaluation did change from 9405 to 9787 is the current evaluation, so it went up a little bit. So if we stay with our current mill rate, or we could do something in between. Whatever we do, just as a caution, whatever we do now is not the final budget, because we'll have to have the budget hearing, and then vote on the final budget numbers in September's meeting, whatever they may be. Whatever we publish in the paper, though, is the amount of mills that we can go up to but can't exceed, so just, and make sure, Becky, if I'm saying anything incorrect, correct me, please. All right, so if we were to, take the 71 mills, we could adopt a budget up to that 71 mills or less. If we adopt a budget that includes the 74.643 or higher, well, we can't go higher. If we adopt something in between 71 and 74, whatever we publish, we can go up to that amount, but not above it. Can always go below in the final budget in September, which will be the actual budget that we approve. So, could be a strategy question, finding out what public interest is and where they think the mills would be. I guess my suggestion, I think we ought to at least stay with the current mills that we had last year for general and Parks and Rec, and which is essentially 24,817 to 23, What's that difference? 4.817 minus 83.563. That's 1.254 mils. Essentially, we would add 1 mil to Parks and Rec to bring them back to 5.513. In public safety, to stay the same. Library was at 11,730. What's the difference between public safety? Is that a full mill? Not quite. 22.370 minus 23.145. 0.77 mils and 0.775. I'm just figuring the differences. I guess I should have figured Parks and Rec evenly since I think the other ones. What'd you get, like 8.5? Minus 1. Instead of a full mill, it's 0.978. Have to do a little bit of adjustment. Streets went from 946 to 948 is the way Sean had presented it. And library went to 11,806. So we have to shave a few mills off, or a piece of a mill off of something to get us back to the 74,643 mills. A mill's worth, just a reminder, $9,787.05. I don't know if they're rounding 5 up or down.
Can you repeat that?
$9,787.054. Last year it was 9,405.64. So a mill's worth 380 bucks more this year in the evaluation. Well, so, thoughts?
What you're saying, you wanna go with the mill rate we had last year, pretty much,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I would
That's
suggest
what you're
is
trying to figure.
74643, but we would, and if you want, do we want to stay with exactly the same mills in each category, or do we need to, library wants a little bit more, Sean had him going to 11,806, do we want to if we leave that number for library and leave streets going up just a little bit, we're gonna have to shave a little bit off of one of the others to stay at the 74,643. See what I mean? Or we could simply stay with that amount. Everyone is gonna get more dollars.
I leave it alone, because they're gonna get more because of milk.
That's correct.
And they can make do with what they got. I would leave it exactly what it's at.
You just don't change any of the mills, so can certainly do that.
If you give it to anybody, then somebody's getting hurt.
Yeah.
And there's no way to really justify that to any department, in my way of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
I would leave it.
Okay.
If there was an easy justification for taking it from somebody else, but there's not.
No.
Nobody was egregious on use of the funding last year.
No, I think police department's doing good. I think, Parks and Rec is the one that we're a bit concerned about. Regardless of what we do in mill space, he's gonna have to give us more budget authority for Parks and Rec.
And Parks and Rec is one that I think the community would support more than any of the others too, if it came down to it. And I think Madison loves a challenge, so that's important too.
There you go.
Now, I do think, well, I've said before, I think as a community, we need to start focusing more on fundraising for certain things, and not look to the city's budget on certain things. I think it needs to become more of a practice instead of a one-off situation.
Okay.
I think that would
That's
help,
fair.
help offset the Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Well, the police force could do fundraisers.
They could.
Everybody could.
They did.
They did.
Oh, that's right.
You got new vests because of fundraising.
And grant writing.
Yeah.
And I think, for the most part, most of the community is gonna be more willing to give to those type of programs than hearing their taxes are going up even $10.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just,
Okay.
if we raise anything, they raised it last year.
So is that a motion to stay with the 74,643 and with the actual same mills for everybody?
That was
On
a
the
conversation started from my end. I wanted to hear what everybody else had to say.
Okay.
I would tend to agree, that was similar to my, with that, I didn't bring anything up about fundraising, but that was similar to my train of thought at the last meeting.
And there's a lot of people who didn't get raises this year. We've got a community full of fixed incomes.
Yeah.
So they didn't even get cost of living. So
Yeah.
the city doesn't get cost of living either.
Yeah. I definitely don't think we raise mills
Yeah.
any stretch of the imagination.
That's why I wanted to take it back to the revenue neutral rate, because the county already hit everybody hard too. Because the budget was based on the county revenue neutral rate of 71,732. So
I
give
don't
everybody,
I don't
just give everybody a break from, because the county.
I don't
hit
disagree with
everybody
you. I
hard.
just think we'd rather have money.
Not when you're putting money into CDs.
I would tend to agree that if we adopt that we'd have to adjust mills between the programs, and we will be cutting programs.
I think so. And I do take your point on the CDs, but I think that's a bill we owe ourselves in case we get in trouble.
That's why
I wish we didn't have to buy CDs.
That's why I said
But I-
6 months, because then we have the interest if we
But
need it.
I think one thing, sorry, didn't mean
No,
to.
it's okay.
one thing I think to keep in mind is it may, short-term, from a budget standpoint, as Becky pointed out, I know Jim that did our budget for many, many years, like to see money, not more than about 260,000, 280,000 in debt for the city was quite a bit, and we're pushing that. I mean, our water debt alone is
Our debt scares me.
pretty high. We're gonna be entering some sewer debt when this project's done. We just discussed our
Some well debt.
well debt, how are we gonna pay for that? Which, if we're gonna pay for that out of pocket, is gonna have to come from water and general. So, while it seems like we may have some money, there's some big bills out there, and we haven't really even touched streets. If we enter into a bond at some point in time to repave streets, I don't know what that's gonna look like. I mean, we did that 12 years ago. We entered into a $750,000 bond to redo streets. Are we gonna do that again? I don't know.
I feel like those CDs are just a reminder that's not our money yet.
Yeah. And they're,
We could use it to pay bills.
that's correct. We paid, I think we made the final payment on the heating and air. There's a $40,000 bill that will be,
Of course, that was the grant money.
Right.
That's sitting there, that's not, that wasn't tax money, that was the grant money. So
well,
it's sitting there now,
it's ARPA dollars, right? And some grant dollars.
and some grant, yeah.
But we're not
That's Kyle likes to point out. It's federal dollars, but yeah, it's all taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
All right. So, couple different options. Obviously, based on feedback in the public hearing, if we do approve the 74,643 at this time, that is not the final budget. The final budget is to be whatever you vote on next council meeting. It's just whatever you publish, you cannot go above whatever you publish.
I think we should try very hard as a council to look at these packets and come back with a way to spend less than that. But that's, I think it's
So
a good cap.
publish the 74,643.
Publish that and try to come back to 73, 72, 50, something, you know.
Yeah.
And just remember, tell yourself, Madison likes a challenge. That should be our motto. For
Well,
this
when you
year's
think
budget.
about a lot of the grants that are out there, a lot of them might, there's a lot of things that you can do with free money for kids, or activities and things for kids.
Well, obviously, I think investing in our youth programs, in our youth, I know our comprehensive plan is in this pile of paperwork somewhere to talk about.
I think our summer help is one of our best youth investment we've got.
Yeah. There's obviously a declining interest in kids growing up in a small town and then staying in a small town. That is a problem everywhere. So what can we do to attract that? We've made significant investments in things around, when you look at our lake and our assets that we have in town, how many other cities have that of our size?
Yeah, I think we provide quite a value to our residents, for sure.
We will probably need to start looking at, we know we're gonna have some pretty big pool expenses. We definitely need maintenance, new pumps, sand filters. Are we gonna keep the pool there? What's our 5-year plan look like for the pool? Again, are we saving now, or what are we gonna do there? You know? Someone texted me a picture of the Ottawa splash pad, you know, is that something we'd like to look at some point in time? I don't know.
Well, I think, I'll make the motion that we publish 74,643.
Okay, we got a motion by Polly to publish the 74,643, do we have a second? Got a second by Kyle. Want to discuss this any further? Not, all in favor? All opposed?
Opposed?
Motion passes 4-1. We only need a roll call on the final, is that correct? Okay.
Okay, so in the meantime, as clerk and us employees, Kyle, you said something that you would like us to search for ways to get it down to see if we can get somewhere in between that 74 and 71.
If we could get to 71, I think it's fantastic. I think it's unattainable and maintaining what we've got going.
Okay.
But I do think that should be our goal every year.
Okay.
Get to revenue neutral, right?
I mean, unless we have some big valid reason why some specific year we can't do it. I think that should always be.
Unfortunately, just like everybody else, cost of everything is
Everything's
going up,
Yeah, exactly.
regardless of what it is. And that's, yeah, I don't.
Because that was my biggest concern when I looked at just like the amounts of money, not so much the revenue neutral rate was going down. It lowers the general fund by like $225,000. And so in my brain, I'm like, okay, where am I gonna get $225,000? How am I gonna figure that out? And, you know, my first thought was, well, we move money from the general fund for the lake maintenance, we move money from the general fund to the pool maintenance, we move money from the general fund. So instantly my mind's going, well, we can cut that, but then that's maintenance on the lake, and we can cut that, but that's maintenance on the pool. We can cut that, but that's maintenance on something else. So that's what I was wanting to know, if you wanted me to continue to look at for those little bits.
And that,
That's what I think we should all be doing.
yeah, and I think we should maybe look at ways of helping our citizens out in things that they need to do. We haven't really looked, I'm not a big fan of tax incentive districts, but is there incentive programs that we could come up with for home improvements, for things that they may need around their house, because everybody has those needs, but how do we invest in them to help them invest in us? There's an option there that we haven't really looked at. That other cities have taken care of. You always get into administration costs and that kind of stuff, but I would think that we would be able to come up with some simple program to be able to help our citizens out with the needs that they may have. So, okay, right. Anything else on that? If not, that takes us to update a comprehensive plan. I knew it was in here. All right. I've read most of the comprehensive plan. Has everybody read the comprehensive plan that was provided? Do you have feedback, things you'd like to add to it?
I started, but it's hard for me to read on the computer, so I can write me.
You want me to print you one?
I understand, paper copy.
I'm old, I like to have it.
I know. If you're over 50, paper copy's the way to go, you can tell. All right.
Then I can make notes and make my thoughts.
So that's our first draft. If there's any citizens that want to, we can put that on the website, they want to review it.
Oh, it's at H6, it's misnumbered. I'm sorry. I was rearranging some things to move people up to the front of the agenda, and I misnumbered.
we have a comprehensive plan on your code? What? All right,
There you go.
so that's first of our reviewing and updating our comprehensive plan. A lot of data in there, a lot of things, so our goals, I'd like to start talking about where and how we are going to, what our long-range plan is, both for maintenance department location, as well as where City Hall's location is and where police department location is. Are we remaining here, are we moving? I think my long-term vision, I can see us building someplace or moving to a new location and utilizing this building in a different fashion for the community. Also, maintenance, moving out of that building over there to utilize it more for community. And then, but where are we gonna be housed at? We gotta be housed somewhere. So how's that look in our comprehensive plan? 5 years out, 10 years out? I think we're gonna have to start looking at building or buying someplace.
I'm sorry, I've been out of town, I don't know either. What happened with the township?
They're explained this as far as I know. They took sealed bids last night and I think they're
Last night, I couldn't remember.
deciding what to do at this point. So, I think we got 7 bids.
It was in a great maintenance shop. Not that we're ready now.
Right. It could have been, yes.
Okay, the comprehensive plan, the college students, are coming back next week, so they wanted, Bill Flanders, their teacher, asked for feedback by Friday, so he could give it to the students so they can start to work on it.
Okay. This Friday.
This Friday, yeah.
You did. Thank you.
Printed one right here. Sure. And it's only the first 3 chapters, I think.
Yeah. All right.
First 3 chapters is what they want feedback on.
Yeah, because it's not, they did not set the whole thing.
problem.
There's a lot of, add this means that.
Yes,
Okay.
because it's just rough, it's not a final. Because then they have, he gave me kind of some dates that he wants to throw out to bring the students in and to, review, do them
You
dates.
print me a copy too.
All right. Anyone else that needs a copy, let us know. We'll get you a copy and make some edits. Anything else on that? I'm not 100% sure. There's a question about liquidated damages on the lagoons from last question. We're moving on to H4.
No, Kyle had just asked about liquidated damages a couple of weeks ago, and I found it in the contract and just put the page in here, so you can see.
Oh, I just made a comment, I didn't like the way they had the liquidated damages set up, because they said it's not punitive, well, it should be.
Yeah.
We got into a sticky mess, and I don't think we're gonna have that out here with the water program.
Right.
It was a shit show, and it could have been avoided.
It could have
if We
been.
had punitive liquidated damages.
Yes, yes.
Nobody likes LDs, but they're there for a reason.
Yeah, I agree. And that's probably something maybe we could look at our contracts a little tougher.
Well,
What does punitive mean? When you
it
say
should be
punitive?
punished. It should hurt, when you're paying LDs, it should hurt.
And you don't think that what they put in here was enough?
$500, that's nothing,
Okay.
doesn't hurt anybody.
Okay.
I was a little, Keithan does this all the time, they do it all the time. I was a little shocked that he'd reached out to these guys and they saw the prime contract before we signed the prime contract. They saw what they were gonna be signing before we did. I would have liked to have had a little more input on our side of the contract.
That's,
process.
okay, that's
They,
fair.
this is our boilerplate contract, there you go. I was expecting to be more involved in it.
Okay.
As a council.
Prior to, yeah,
Mhm.
okay. All right, that's fair. We'll look at that process and make sure we get that. All right, well, we know what they are.
And I know where they're at in the contract, so.
All right, so, okay. Along those lines, we can talk about it here, it's not really, but with the sewer project, we are still trying to find places for folks to take limbs and what have you, but at this time, we don't have anything, so we are still trying to find that.
Sometimes you can take the data.
Because this obviously is temporary, but eventually we'll get back to out there, but you needed to decide how we're handling that. Okay, H5 is, I don't think
Yeah,
we already have that.
sorry.
Okay, then that takes us to new business. Mayor's Summit date is August 20th. We have, Becky has done an excellent job of organizing our speakers. and
I'm really
comments.
excited because I've talked to the clerk from every single town in Osage County and have gotten some feedback from every single clerk. And so far, everybody except Olivet has said, we're sending somebody. So that's cool. I mean, I was pretty excited with that. And we're hosting, we're gonna have our queue. Right now, I have 25 people signed up to come, but I haven't got confirmation on it confirmed. So I didn't know if anybody, and Polly's coming.
Where is it gonna be?
Here at the library.
At the library.
Mhm.
Hopefully it won't smell like paint in there.
Well, I reserved it, so they know it's reserved for that night, so.
Okay. All right, fresh paint. All right, that takes us to county data center hearing. I think that's just information.
Yep, the
As-
county is having a hearing on their planning and zoning on August 26th. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are all aware.
What time?
It doesn't say, was it in the paper? Oh,
All right, well, we'll get a time on
So-
that and, put that on the
they're
website.
gonna discuss the zoning for, but it's a good thing, I think there'll be a lot of people there.
I don't think they've made too many decisions on that, but I think they do need to be prepared.
Yep.
I guess we as a county, one question I would have overall as a county associated, even, I know this is specifically talking about data centers, but if we're really concerned about our taxes and what have you, we have to find some way of bringing some industry into the county. If we're gonna continue to say no to every industry that comes into the county, it's gonna be a struggle from our property tax point of view, so.
It does say 7 PM at the Osage County Courthouse.
7 PM, Osage County Courthouse. Awesome. Okay, that takes us to I3, high school cheerleading donation request.
The high school cheerleading, since the team asked for a donation from the city in previous years, it's been stated that the council does not like giving taxpayer money away, that would be up to each individual council member to make a decision if they wanted to donate money personally. But I just wanted to throw that out there because they asked, so.
Think we have a We do have a policy on this somewhere,
We do,
yeah, somewhere.
what's that? Yes.
I think the discussion in the policy was, does it benefit the entire population of the school as a whole? Versus one individual group, as you could, like you're pointing out, you could have the math club or the football team or whatever. And how do you determine that point? So, I think there was a benefit question in there, I know. Now, the council certainly can change that policy, but we'll get that out there.
I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure we have one there.
For it.
It's been a while since we looked at it. Okay, anything else on donations? You guys wanna take any action on that? Okay. If not, takes us to mayor's comments. Just like to thank everybody for, all their time. It's Fair Week, so appreciate everybody's work on all the fair. It's a good time in Overbrook, so encourage everyone to come out and enjoy the festivities. There'll be, carnival this year and had a tractor pull already and demolition derby, got the parade.
Range radio.
So enjoy all the things going on and have fun with, so do what we can to support that. And that's all I got. You guys got anything? Not? Take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Hannah to adjourn. Got a second by Blaine. All right, all in favor? All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. We are adjourned. 8:35.
No, that's awesome. Good job, guys.